Hey everybody, welcome back to Brutal Doom. I am your host, Willie B. Coyote, and in the last video I talked about Starfield mods. And that's pretty much it. um, as always, let's get the self-promotion done right out of the gate. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow and hopefully get paid as well. So in this episode, we are going to be hopefully finishing up episode 3 of Brutal Doom. Provided it doesn't make the video run too long. I'm going to be running a stopwatch so I don't let it go, say, above maybe 25 minutes or so. Because after the second part in the series ended up being like an hour and a half long, I don't want it to go on longer than it has any right to. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So, when I was getting ready to record this, I was thinking about various topics to talk about because kind of like a hallmark of my style so far has just been talking about literally anything in particular while I played this game. And so the topic I've decided to talk about today is live-action Disney remakes. Oh boy, this is quite a rabbit hole. It's not exactly a secret that the Disney live-action remakes are some of the most soulless corporate cash grabs and a sea of soulless corporate I can't talk today. And a sea of soulless corporate cash grabs. Try saying that 10 times fast. These movies, in terms of how soulless they are, make the Terminator sequels look like basically auteur cinema by comparison. Probably one of the most egregious examples of this, I think, is the recent Little Mermaid remake. I haven't actually seen it, for full transparency. I haven't actually seen it, but I'm not gonna go see it just because I watched the trailer. And I looked at the designs for some of the classic characters. Just look at what they did to my boy Sebastian and Flounder. They did him dirty. They did him so dirty. Literally. And that's the biggest problem with this kind of, these Disney live-action remakes, is that a lot of them aren't really live-action if you think about it. They're mostly just CGI with some live actors in them every now and then. For example, the Lion King remake is not a live-action remake. It's 100% done in 3D animation that's meant to look photorealistic. And it looks great. The character, it is really photorealistic, and it does look great, but that brings out the main problem with a lot of these live-action remakes, is that because the photorealism they go for non-human characters, they lose all the personality they had in the original. Because there are just certain things in animation that you can get away with that you just can't get away with in live action. And one of those things is having really expressive characters be much more expressive, particularly if they're non-human characters, is having them be more expressive than they would be otherwise. So all you have to do is just compare the original Lion King with the Lion King remake to see what I'm talking about. All the characters in the Lion King remake, they look really realistic. True. And the amount of time and care they put into that 3D animation is absolutely something that the animators deserve credit for. But the faces of the characters just aren't as expressive as they were in the original. Seriously. Just look at footage of Simba and compare it to the original, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Another example of this, of course, is from what I saw in the trailers for the Little Mermaid remake. Because again, I haven't seen that movie yet, and I have no intention of doing so. You look at the footage of Sebastian and look at how they made him look like a real crab compared to how they made him look cartoony and gave him an anthropomorphic head, which was much more expressive in comparison. if they were gonna do it in that photorealistic way, the least they could have done is take the Sonic movie route and like do a photorealistic version of the original design, like, and make it more expressive that way. Like, the original design for Sonic in the Sonic movie was straight up nightmare fuel, literally. Like when they made the decision, they honestly saved the movie by making the decision to change the design to something a little more faithful to the games. And the Sonic movie ended up being really, really good. Although, part of me is thinking they might have done that as a marketing stunt. But then again, you know, that's neither here nor there. Like most, and a lot of more, and the fact that they're doing remakes of newer and newer movies, like the Cinderella remake and the the Cinderella remake at least made somewhat sense because it was a really, really old movie, and remaking older movies does make more sense from an artistic standpoint because, you know, it's getting old. Maybe, you know, it's been long enough. We could maybe put a new twist on this. You know, that's what happened with John Carpenter's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing was a remake of the Howard Hawks film called The Thing from Another World, because both films are based off the book Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr. And the Howard Hawks film deviated significantly from the book, whereas the John Carpenter film stayed much more faithful to it. So that can present so circumstances like that are an example of where a remake is warranted, where you have an adaptation that wasn't particularly faithful to the source material. If you do a remake, you can have the opportunity to do something that is more faithful to the source material. Case in point, John Carpenter's The Thing. And John Carpenter's The Thing was awesome. Running out of ammo here. That never gets old. Anyways, so like even The Lion King, which came out in the 90s, is old enough to the point where you could artistically justify a remake. But then it comes out earlier in the year that Disney is doing a live-action remake of Moana, a movie that isn't even 10 years old! Come on! Like, I knew Disney was creatively bankrupt in this day and age, but, like, that just takes the cake in terms of creative bankruptcy. Doing a live-action remake of an animated film that's not even 10 years old. Like, why? Why? What is the point? I'll tell you what the point of the Moana remake is. Money. It is a soulless corporate cash grab in every sense of the word. Especially stinks as well because Moana was one of the last truly great Disney films before they started going on the live-action bender. You know, and before they ruined Star Wars as well. Like, seriously, you've already ruined so much stuff, Disney. Do you have to ruin one of the last good things you did before you started ruining stuff? Come on. There is no artistic reason to do a live-action remake of Moana. And I've argued with one of my sisters about this because she loves Moana. It's one of her favorite Disney movies. It's also one of her daughter's favorite Disney movies. But, like, I'm sorry. There is no artistic reason whatsoever to do a remake of Moana this only 7 or 8 years after it came out. Like, there is no artistic reason whatsoever to do that. Like, honestly, like, if anything, the only remake that Disney should do a remake of should be Song of the South. Like, because that way they could at least have an excuse to keep Splash Mountain around. Like, and I love Splash Mountain. You know, that was one of the best rides at Disney World. Like, if they instead of remaking Splash Mountain off of Princess and the Frog, what they should do is remake Song of the South. And just make it to be slightly less racially insensitive. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I even had my own idea for how I would do a remake of Song of the South. What I'd do is I'd basically do it as I'd change the context of it basically. And instead of taking place on like a plantation immediately after the Civil War, I'd have it take place in New Orleans during the Great Depression. The character of Uncle Remus would be portrayed as a bluesman playing music on a street corner in the French Quarter during the Great Depression. You know? And, you know, he's telling all these stories to these kids who are homeless in the neighborhood. And he's telling these stories to them to cheer them up. That'd be kind of cool. Plus, you could also get someone like Gary Clark Jr. to play the role. You know, like an actual kind of modern blues guitar player. That'd be cool. Or Sonny Rhodes. Sonny Rhodes, who was famously the guy who did the theme song for Firefly. Which, even after all these years, might I add, still slaps harder than Will Smith at the Oscars. But if Disney keeps going down this road of creative bankruptivity, like, how long is it going to be before we start seeing live-action remakes of Pixar movies like Finding Nemo? Like, I guarantee you, if the character designs in the Little Mermaid remake are anything to go off of, then the character designs for a live-action Finding Nemo remake are going to be straight-up nightmare fuel. Like, they are going to be nightmare fuel. Like, I don't even want to try and imagine what kind of abomination of a character designs Disney would come up with if they did a photorealistic remake of Finding Nemo. Like, that would just be horrifying. Like, honestly, it would probably make the character designs in Little Mermaid look like the original designs from the original by comparison. Doesn't help the fact that Disney really cuts, like, has been really skimping on their CGI budget in a lot of their shows lately, like, it's honestly sad. And, like, I know it seems like I'm ragging on Disney a lot here, but the thing is, like, I like Disney. I really love Disney. I grew up with Disney. And it just makes me really sad and frustrated that they're just falling down this rabbit hole of creative bankruptivity. Like, I know Disney can do better than this. And I'm just trying to show them tough love here. Like, because I know they can do better than this. These are the people who did the first feature-length feature animated film. Like, fully 2D animated film. Like, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs literally changed filmmaking for the better. Like, because it showed that animation could be taken seriously as an art form. Like, they were the first, not only the first fully hand-drawn 2D animated feature film, but they were also the first one to win an Oscar. Like, come on. Like, Disney, you can do better than this. I mean, come on. Like, it's just so frustrating to me because like I said before, I know that Disney can do better than this. Like, this is a company that was built on innovation. Like, they were all about innovating. And, like, but here they are doing the exact opposite of innovation at every single turn. Just doing remakes of stuff that they already did before, and remakes, but worse, pretty much. Like, why can't Disney try something new for once? Like, even if it's another adaptation of a public domain story that they haven't done yet, like, why not take a risk on something like that? Like, it'd at least be a nice break from all the superhero stuff. Like, seriously. Like, You know, Disney hasn't put out a single 2D feature-length animated film since Princess and the Frog in like 2009. 2009. Over like 12, almost 15, 12, almost like 12 or 13 years ago, or however long ago 2009 was. I can't remember now. I'm old. My sense of time has fallen apart. Like, why can't you do another feature-length 2D animated feature film? Like, considering the fact that Disney was the pioneer for feature-length animated films in America. Like, it really shouldn't be that hard. Disney can do better than this. There are some talented people working at Disney. Like, why can't they pull it off? It's not that they can't pull it off, it's just that they won't pull it off because it's more profitable for them in the short term to just remake something that they already did before in live action. Which stinks. It really stinks. Like, I would much rather see a brand new feature-length, hand-drawn animated film from Disney of a completely new IP than I would another live-action remake, especially of Moana, because, like, Moana, as I said before, was one of the last good things they put out before they just started going down the rabbit hole of live-action remakes. Like, it's not like animation hasn't lost popularity either. I mean, just look at how huge anime has gotten in the last decade or so. Like, anime has had a cult following for a really long time, but, you know, thanks largely to streaming services and to COVID, you know, anime has absolutely exploded in popularity. You know, so much so that Cartoon Network brought back the Toonami block. And and the real legends in the audience here are the ones who can comment down below if they remember the Toonami block from back in the day. Like that was the first, when we first saw Gundam Wing, that was when we first saw, you know, Dragon Ball, that was when we first saw all this classic anime that got us into anime in the first place. You know, real legends remember watching the Toonami block back in the 2000s. But, you know, like, the Toonami block got brought back not too long ago, and they've already got new shows coming out. Like, they have the Shenmue animated series, which absolutely slaps, might I add. That show is awesome. And now they've got a new show coming out called Lazarus, which is a collaboration between Shinichiro Watanabe, the creator of Cowboy Bebop, and Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick. Literally, the guy who did Cowboy Bebop and the guy who did John Wick are collaborating together on an animated series for Toonami. Like, look at me in the eye and with a straight face and tell me that that doesn't sound awesome. Like, I am gonna be counting the minutes until that show drops. I've watched the trailer for it too, it looks incredible. It almost looks like Cowboy Bebop meets Neil Blomkamp's Elysium. Like, it looks so good. It looks so good. And I know that might not be the best comparison because I know a lot of people didn't really like Elysium all that much, but I loved Elysium. I absolutely adored Elysium, you know, because, like, even though it's not one of his better films, like, I still liked it anyway just because of how, like, imaginative the setting was. Like, I remember the first time I saw Elysium, and it was just, I just loved it. Same thing with the first time I watched District 9. By the way, if you haven't watched District 9 yet, stop what you're doing right now, and go watch it. It is so good. So good. This is probably one of my, taking a break for a second, there we go, to talk about Doom here. That's probably one of the most frustrating things in this level, is just the fact that you've got just a maze of teleporters there. It's kind of hard to get through. It's kind of frustrating, but anyways, but back to what I was saying about, you know, like, animation is not a dying art form. You know, like, animation is still very successful in this day and age. It's very, you know, like, anime has proven that. Like, it really shouldn't be that hard to make a new animated film or TV show and have it be successful in this day and age, considering the fact that anime is a thing. Like, how hard is it, Disney? How hard is it, Disney, for you to do that? Like, you even, like, made, like, an anime anthology for Star Wars for Disney Plus. Like, why can't you do a feature-length, like, team up with Studio Ghibli or someone else, or some other studio you teamed up with for Star Wars Visions, and do a feature-length anime Star Wars film, or just do a feature-length 2D animated Star Wars film, or just any original property or whatever. Like, why not? Why not? People want to genuinely would line up to see the first 2D hand-drawn animated Disney film since Princess and the Frog. Like, that would immediately be a box office draw. It really wouldn't be that much of a reach to believe that that would be a draw out to the box office. Now, getting close to 20 minutes here, so let's see if I can finish this level before then. It took me so many attempts to figure out how to get through this level before I found the bits that I'd missed. This way. But anyways, yeah, like I'm just trying to show, with this rant here, I'm basically just trying to show tough love towards Disney, because I know they can do better than what they've been doing in, like, the last decade and a half. Like some of my favorite movies of all time are Disney movies. Like, Remember the Titans is one of my, not just one of my favorite Disney movies, but one of my favorite movies, period. That movie is utterly sublime. National Treasure, great. The original Pirates of the Caribbean, fantastic. Like, I absolutely adored the original Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. Like, died there like a noob. But yeah, like, Disney can and has done better than what they're doing now. Like, they just need to just stop worrying about their profit margins and actually put some effort into it for once in the last decade and a half or so. Like, seriously, like, it really shouldn't be that hard for Disney to put out a 2D hand-drawn animated film, considering the fact that they're the pioneers of modern-day 2D and hand-drawn animated feature-length films. Yeah, but, like, I look at Disney nowadays as kind of a microcosm of everything wrong in the entertainment industry nowadays. Like, you know, being more concerned with profitability as opposed to art and storytelling. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with making money, you know. I'm a capitalist. I believe, you know, like, in supply and demand and all that. But, you know, but there's a thin line between, like being concerned with making money and just flat out going out of your way to just make money. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. This rant has just got me so frustrated that I don't even know what to talk about anymore. So I guess I'll just end this video here. Like, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And tune in next time, when I maybe, talk about overrated bands, provided I can actually keep a cool head when I start ranting about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!